And now, Andrew Does Everything proudly presents Cinderella, based on the story of Cinderella. Once upon a time, there lived a young girl named Cinderella. Cinderella had 5 ugly, mean stepsisters named Tasha, Hannah, Rena, and the twins Ellie and Emmy. Tasha, Hannah, Rena, Ellie, and Esme made Cinderella do all the chores. Sweep the floors, wash the dishes, do it all, said Tasha, Hannah, Rena, Ellie, and Emmy all together. One day, the king of Tripleville's messenger said, Hear ye, the king of Tripleville is going to throw a ball, and whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Stripling. But Cinderella is not welcome. Her stepsisters are... Tasha said, He's going to marry me. Hannah said, No way, Tasha. He's going to marry me. Rena said, Both of you are wrong. He's going to marry me. Ellie said, All 3 of you are wrong. He's going to marry me. Emmy said, Are you kidding, sister? He's going to marry me. Later, Cinderella is so sad because she cannot go to the ball. Suddenly, Cinderella's fairy godmother asks what's wrong. Why are you crying, Cinderella? She asks. Cinderella responds, I can't go to the ball and marry Prince Stripling. The fairy godmother said, I can help with a bit of magic. She waved her magic wand and chanted the magic word. Triply, trappily, triply, true. And then Cinderella's chores are all done, but the fairy godmother said she's not done. He then said, Cinderella, go fetch me a good old pumpkin. Luckily, Cinderella has 3 pumpkins. The fairy godmother waved her magic wand and chanted the magic word, triply, trappily, troppily, true. And then the 3 pumpkins turned into a handsome coach drawn by 6 strong horses. And then Cinderella's do-rag and red dress turned into a gown and crown. Cinderella said, I've never seen such a triple-tastic crown and gown. And get a load of my glass slippers. The fairy godmother said, Have fun, Cinderella, but I would warn you. Return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken. Cinderella accepted the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, Prince Stripling was wondering who he should marry. Tasha, Hannah, Rena, Ellie, and Emmy say all together, He's walking towards me! But he's not walking towards any of them. But he's walking towards Cinderella. Cinderella and Prince Stripling dance together. But later, Cinderella realized it's almost midnight, so she scurried out of the ball. And she's running so fast that she lost one of her glass slippers. Prince Stripling was so worried. He afraid that he might never see Cinderella again. So he traveled around Tripleville to find her and brought the tiny glass slipper with him. He knocked on the door of the house where Cinderella and her ugly, mean stepsisters lived. Ladies, I have a favor to ask. Can you try on this glass slipper? Tasha first. Hannah second. Rena third, and the twins last, but none of their feet fit. Suddenly, Prince Stripling noticed Cinderella singing. She exclaimed, Prince Stripling, is that you? Prince Stripling said, Of course it's me. Frila gets so excited because she's happy to have Prince Tripling back. And he doesn't need to put on the glass slipper back on Frila's foot because it's so uncomfortable. And they both live happily ever after. The end. And now, Anna Does Everything proudly presents Cinderella. It is based on the story of Cinderella. What? Let's tell you the story, shall we? Once upon a time, there lived a young girl named Cinderella. Cinderella had 4 ugly, mean stepsisters named Fiona, Ophelia, Ursula, and Ramona. Fiona, Ophelia, Ursula, and Ramona made Cinderella do all the chores. Sweep the floors. Wash the dishes. Do it all. Said Fiona, Ophelia, Ursula, and Ramona all together. One day, the king of Quadrillium's messengers said, Hear ye! Hear ye! The king of Quadrillium is going to throw a ball, and whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince 14. But Cinderella is not welcome. Her stepsisters are. He's going to marry me, said Fiona. Ophelia said, No way, Fiona! He's going to marry me. Ursula said, Both of you are wrong! He's going to marry me. Ramona said, All 3 of you are wrong! He's going to marry me. Later, Cinderella is so sad because she can't go to the ball and marry Prince 14, while her fairy godmother asks her what's wrong by saying, Why are you crying, Cinderella? Cinderella responds, I got lots of chores to be done. I can't go to the ball and marry Prince 14. Cinderella's fairy godmother said, I can help with a bit of magic. Cinderella's fairy godmother chants the magic words. Quiddity, quaddity, quaddity, quoo! And waves her magic wand. Because of that, all of Cinderella's chores are all done. But Cinderella's fairy godmother is not done yet. She said, Cinderella, go fetch me a pumpkin. Luckily, Cinderella has 4 pumpkins. Cinderella's fairy godmother said, and then chants the magic words. Quiddity, quaddity, quaddity, quoo, and waves her magic wand to turn the 4 pumpkins into a handsome coach drawn by 8 strong horses. And then, Cinderella's closer to a gathered crowd. Cinderella said, I've never seen such a quad-tastic gown. And get a lot of my glass slippers, her fairy godmother said. Have fun, mighty Cinderella. But I would warn you, return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken, and everything will turn back to the way it was before. Cinderella accepted the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, Prince 14 was wondering who he should marry. Fiona, Ophelia, Ursula, and Ramona said all together, He's walking towards me! But he's not walking towards any of them. He's walking towards Cinderella. Cinderella and Prince 14 dance happily together. But later, Cinderella realizes something is midnight, so she scurried out of the ball. And she was running so fast that she lost both her glass slippers. Prince 14 was so worried that he might never see Cinderella again. So she So he traveled all around Quadrilla to find her. But the two tiny glass slippers with him. He knocked on the door of the home where Forella and her stepsisters live. But instead of Forella, he finds Fiona, Ophelia, Ursula, and Ramona. He then said, "Ladies, I have a favor to ask. Can you try on these glass slippers? Fiona is first, but her feet are too big." Ophelia said, "But her feet are too small." Ursula and Ramona did the same thing, but their feet don't fit either. Suddenly, Prince 14 notices Swarla's sweet singing. "The glass slippers fit!" Forella gets so excited because she's happy to have her Prince 14 back. And they both lived happily ever after. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share on Andrew Does Everything. And if you want to see some sequels, tell your friends about it. And then, take care, Andrew Stores. Bye. And now, Andrew Does Everything proudly presents Cinderella. It is based on the story of Cinderella. Let's tell you the story, shall we? Once upon a time, there was a young girl named Cinderella. Cinderella had 5 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters named Eliza, Isabella, Georgia, Hannah, and Tasha. Eliza, Isabella, Georgia, Hannah, and Tasha made Cinderella do all the chores. Sweep the floors, wash the dishes, do it all, said Eliza, Isabella, Georgia, Hannah, and Tasha all together. Then one day, the king of Autolihan's messenger arrives and says, "Hear ye, hear ye! The king of Autolihan is going to throw a ball. And whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Autobling." But Cinderella is not welcome. Her stepsisters are. They then argue over who will Prince Autobling marry. Later, Cinderella is so sad that she can't go to the ball and marry Prince Autobling while doing chores. Suddenly, her fairy godmother asks Cinderella what's wrong by saying, "Why are you crying, Cinderella?" Cinderella responds, "I got lots of chores to do, but I can't go to the ball and marry Prince Autobling." Cinderella's fairy godmother said, "I can help with a bit of magic," and waved her magic wand. Because of that, Cinderella's chores are all done, but her fairy godmother is not done yet. She said, "Cinderella, go fetch me a pumpkin." Luckily, Cinderella has a pumpkin. Cinderella's fairy godmother waved her magic wand again to turn the 8 pumpkins into a handsome coach drawn by 16 strong horses, and then Cinderella's rich clothes into a gown and crown. Cinderella said, "I've never seen such a terrific gown. Get a load of my glass slippers." Her fairy godmother said, "Have fun, Cinderella, but I would warn you, return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken and everything will change back to the way it was before." Cinderella accepted the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, Prince Autumn was wondering who he should marry. Eliza, Isabella, Georgia, Hannah, and Tasha say all together, "He's walking towards me!" But he's not walking towards any of them. He's walking towards Cinderella. Cinderella and Prince Autumn danced happily together. But later, Cinderella realized it's almost midnight, so she scurried out of the ball. And she was running so fast that she lost both her glass slippers. Prince Autumn was so worried that he might never see Cinderella again. So he traveled all around and Autumn had to find her and brought the 2 glass slippers with him. By the time he arrives, he knocks on the door of the house where Cinderella, Eliza, Isabella, Georgia, Hannah, and Tasha lived. But instead of Cinderella, he finds Eliza, Isabella, Georgia, Hannah, and Tasha. He then says, "Ladies, I have a favor to ask. Can you try on these glass slippers?" Eliza is first, but her foot is too big. Isabella is next, but her foot is too small. The rest did the same, but none of their feet were the right size. Suddenly, Prince Autumn notices Cinderella's sweet saying, "The glass slippers fit!" And Cinderella gets so excited because she's happy to have Prince Autumn back. And they both lived happily ever after. The end. And Andrew Stewards, I hope you enjoyed this story. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share on Andrew Does Everything. And buy our merch and Dice too. Take care. Bye.